Walter Sports Bar in Navy Yard offers $5 happy hour in both snacks and drinks. To reserve a table, visit waltersdc.com/happy hour.
We're driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day, Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences, so the more you use Indeed, the better it gets. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Just go to Indeed.com/Blue Wire right now and support our show by saying that you heard about Indeed on this podcast. That's Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
Now a payoff pitch coming, swinging a high fly ball left field deep. O'Neill back. Now we're going to play a carom if there is one. And this one bounces off the wall. It is a home run. It hit the top of the wall. It's out of play. The signal by the third base umpire, Chris Conroy. And so bang, zoom, Eddie Rosario with his fourth home run of the year. His third home run in his last 6 games. And the Nationals are back in front here with an opposite field leadoff home run down the left field line for Eddie Rosario. RBI number 8, it's the Nationals 2 and the Red Sox 1.
The 0-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball toward the middle, ranging Garcia. He circles it, he has it, he throws to first, and it's in time to get Hamilton. And that's 7 innings in the big leagues for the first time for Jake Irvin as he retires the final 7 batters that he faced.
Devers with that open stance. Garcia sets. Kicks, delivers, and the pitch swung on, line to left field. Rosario back, it's going to be over his head, and the Red Sox are going to take the lead. Refsnyder has scored. O'Neill is breaking for the plate. He will score on an opposite field 2-run double for Rafael Devers. And the Red Sox are in front for the first time in this game. Played the percentages going left on left, did not work out. 8th double of the year for Devers. He drops in his 13th and 14th runs of the year. And the Red Sox lead by the score 4-2.
And welcome to Nats Chat for Sunday, May 12th, 2024. What is Mother's Day 2024? A happy Mother's Day to all of the moms out there. I'm Al Galdi, host of the Al Galdi podcast. Mark Zuckerman is off for this installment of the podcast. Coming up later in the show, a James Wood update. The Nats' number 1 prospect is going nuclear at AAA Rochester. You know, the Nats may have their plan for James Wood in terms of not calling him up to the majors until the team deems him ready to be called up to the majors. But James Wood, with his play right now, is saying, the heck with your plan. But we begin with what happened with the Nats at the major league level on Saturday. A 4-2 loss at the Boston Red Sox in Game 2 of a 3-game series. The Nats, for this 2024 MLB regular season now, are back at 519 and 19. The Nats held a 2-1 lead going into the bottom of the 5th, but then gave up a run in the bottom of the 5th and gave up 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th. Reliever Robert Garcia, he in that bottom of the 8th allowed 2 runs. He gave up a pinch 1-out infield single by Rob Refsnyder on a tapper toward third base that never rolled foul. Then came a throwing error by shortstop C.J. Abrams, who on a 1-out grounder off the bat of pinch hitter Romy Gonzalez stepped on second base for the force out, but then made an errant throw to first base. Then Garcia issued a 2-out intentional walk of Tyler O'Neill. And then came the big blow. Garcia in a lefty-lefty matchup, giving up a tie-breaking 2-out, 2-run opposite field double by Rafael Devers over left fielder Eddie Rosario and off the left field warning track for a 4-2 Red Sox lead. This was Nats manager Davey Martinez during his postgame session with reporters on Saturday evening on intentionally walking Tyler O'Neill to get to Rafael Rafael Devers, who is having a very good season, but has been less effective against lefty pitching than he has been against righty pitching. And then you'll hear a follow-up exchange with Nats insider Bobby Blanco of MASNsports.com.
Yeah, I thought that was the right matchup. It's a good battle up there. I mean, he fouls a couple of good tough pitches off, and Rafi just got the best of him today. But Garcia's throwing the ball good, and he's a left-handed guy, so we decided to go that route. Didn't work out today, but I think I'd do it again tomorrow in a tie ball game.
You had Hunter warming in the bullpen. Was he an option to come in to face O'Neill instead?
Nope, he was going to face Grissom. Bases loaded.
All right, well, yes, the double by Rafael Devers was bad, but otherwise, it's not like Robert Garcia was that bad in this inning. The margin for error was thin given the struggles of the Nats offense. More on that in a bit. But Robert Garcia was the only Nats reliever used in this game on Saturday, and that is because the Nats starting pitcher, Jake Irvin, was terrific. The Nats overall are doing well, but the Nats still are a rebuilding team. And so, to me, the bigger picture stuff still does matter more than the outcomes of these games. The big picture takeaway from this game is not that the Nats lost, or that Robert Garcia gave up 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th, or that the Nats offense struggled. No, the big picture takeaway from this game is Jake Irvin. He lasted for at least 7 innings in a Major League regular season game for the first time in his career. He allowed 2 runs in 7 innings. He had 6 strikeouts versus no walks. He gave up just 4 hits, which were a solo homer, a double, and 2 singles. He threw a truckload of strikes, 103 pitches, 73 strikes versus just 30 balls. Irvin, in the bottom of the 3rd, gave up a 2-out solo homer by the Red Sox's number 2 batter, Wilyer Abreu, to right field to tie the game at 1. And Irvin, in the bottom of the 5th, gave up a 2-out opposite field RBI double by Jarren Duran off the Green Monster in left field to tie the game at 2. And that was it in terms of damage allowed by Jake Irvin. He, in the bottom of the 1st, pitched around a fielding error by third baseman Trey Lipscomb. Irvin, in his previous outing, the 6-3 loss to the Toronto Blue Jays at Nationals Park the previous Saturday, May 4th, allowed 4 runs, all of which were unearned in 5 innings. He, in that game, pitched around 3 Nats errors, including 2 that came in the top of the 1st, during which Irvin allowed 4 unearned runs. So some bad defense behind Jake Irvin lately, but Irvin, in this loss at the Red Sox on Saturday, 2 runs in 7 innings. So good to see. Davey Martinez, during his postgame session with reporters on Saturday evening on Jake Irvin.
We thought it would be a good time to get him, through about 100 pitches. He was throwing the ball really well, and he did. He finished up really strong. He threw the ball really, really well today. Real proud of him. I mean, he attacked the strike zone and really gave us the innings that we needed. Our bullpen's been used a lot, so for him to go out there and give us those 7 innings was huge.
Yes, it was. Jake Irvin now, in this regular season, 8 starts, an ERA of 3.55, a whip of 1.09, and a walks per 9 innings of just 1.58. That is the lowest walks per 9 innings among Nats starting pitchers this regular season, and the second lowest walks per 9 innings among Nats starting pitchers this regular season belongs to Mitchell Parker, 1.67. He, over 5 starts, has an ERA at 2.67 and a whip of 1.07. What is happening right now with Jake Irvin and Mitchell Parker, to me, is so encouraging in this Nats rebuild. 2 non-first-round starting pitchers who are pitching well at the major league level and who maybe, just maybe, are proving to be legitimate members of the Nats major league rotation for years to come. The Nats took Jake Irvin in the 4th round of the 2018 MLB draft out of the University of Oklahoma. The Nats took Mitchell Parker in the 5th round of the 2020 MLB draft out of San Jacinto College, a public community college in Texas, the same college from which the Nats drafted starting pitcher Jackson Rutledge. The top 2 reasons that the Nats fell off after winning the 2019 World Series were bad drafting and bad player development. We, on this podcast, have talked about those 2 things a lot. What is happening with Jake Irvin and Mitchell Parker are signs that the player development is getting better. Credit to those guys, but also credit to the Nats organization, including pitching coach Jim Hickey and pitching strategist Sean Doolittle. And it is starting to seem like this hiring of Sean Doolittle was a really good move. Both the Nats starting and relief pitching this season have been a lot better as compared to the starting and relief pitching last season. Long way to go, but as things stand right now, the Nats starting and relief pitching this season much improved from the Nats starting and relief pitching from last season. The difference in terms of who wasn't with the team last season and who is with the team this season includes Sean Doolittle. The Nats this past January 16th announced the hiring of Doolittle as pitching strategist to, quote, serve as a liaison between the analytics department and pitching staff while assisting the manager and pitching coach with strategy, mental preparation, and mechanics. End quote. That is a fancy schmancy job description. What exactly Doolittle is doing with these pitchers, we don't know for sure. We know some of what's going on, but we don't know everything that is going on. But you look at the results for this Nats pitching staff, how do you not at least wonder if this hiring of Sean Doolittle is paying big-time dividends? There were people who viewed this hiring of Sean Doolittle as a nostalgia hire, right? As another example of the Nats clinging to 2019 when they instead need to let that go. This was not a nostalgia hire. Sean Doolittle is a smart guy. He gets along with people. He knows how to relate with and communicate with people. He knows pitching. And with the caveat of, again, there are things here that we don't know, I do wonder if Doolittle is making a real impact on this Nats pitching staff. But getting back to Jake Irvin and Mitchell Parker, if these guys are legit, and that is an if, okay? But if they are legit, that all of a sudden gives the Nats some real depth in terms of starting pitchers in the rebuild. Josiah Gray, Mackenzie Gore, Cade Cavalli, Jackson Rutledge, Jake Irvin, Mitchell Parker. Right there are 6 young starting pitchers with promise to varying degrees, to say nothing of other starting pitchers in the Nats farm system. Now, not all of those guys are on the same level. Cade Cavalli is coming off Tommy John surgery. Jackson Rutledge is not doing so well for AAA Rochester right now. But you get the idea. The foundation of the Nats from 2012 through 2019, having 8 consecutive winning regular seasons and making 5 playoff appearances and winning 4 National League East titles and winning, the 2019 World Series was starting pitching. Starting pitching was the foundation. Starting pitching was the platform upon which the Nats did all of these things. But remember, a lot of that starting pitching was acquired, not drafted and or developed. Max Scherzer was a free agent signing. Gio Gonzalez, acquired via trade. Doug Fister, acquired via trade. Patrick Corbin, free agent signing. Anibal Sanchez, free agent signing. Now, yes, Josiah Gray and Mackenzie Gore were acquired via trade, but there certainly is development that the Nats are doing with those guys, given how young they are. And Jake Irvin, Mitchell Parker, Cade Cavalli, and Jackson Rutledge all were drafted by the Nats. Long way to go before we can declare these guys successes, but you get the idea, and very nice to see Jake Irvin doing as he is doing.
The next Nationals homestand begins on May 20th for a 3-game series against the Twins, followed by 3 more versus Seattle. Check out Game Time for various ticketing options, as there are tickets as low as $3 at the moment when they play Minnesota. Game Time offers the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code NATSCHAT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code NATSCHAT for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
We're driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day, Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences, so the more you use Indeed, the better it gets. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Just go to Indeed.com/Blue Wire right now and support our show by saying that you heard about Indeed on this podcast. That's Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
Whether you're a world-class athlete or a podcaster like me, we all understand the importance of mental and physical well-being and proper recovery for top-notch performance. That's why I'm excited that Unified Healing is sponsoring podcasts on the Blue Wire Network. Unified Healing is a new and super innovative global network of wellness centers powered by Energy Enhancement System, or EE System. If you haven't heard of the EE System yet, then you'll want to listen up. This technology promotes wellness, deep relaxation, purification, and rejuvenation. Wherever you are across the globe, access to a center is easy and affordable. Interested in experiencing the EE System technology for yourself? Go to unifiedhealing.com/Blue Wire to learn more and find a center near you. That's unified, UNIFYD, healing.com/Blue Wire. No material or testimonials on the Unified Healing website are intended to be viewed as medical advice or a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or treatment and before undertaking a new healthcare regimen, including EE System.
Want to be more active this summer? Sierra helps you save on everything from swimsuits to stand-up paddleboards, tennis rackets to fishing tackle. And if that doesn't float your boat, we also have pool floats. Sierra, let's get moving to your local store, like now. Go!
Here's a breaking ball swung on it high in the air to deep left center field. This is way back. This one may go, and it is gone. Goodbye. Into the monster seats above the wall in left center field. Bang! Zoom goes Joey Meneses with his first home run of the season. And the Nationals are on the board first here at Fenway Park. It's the Nationals 1 and the Red Sox nothing. The drought for Joey Meneses is over.
Well, the Nats offense in this 4-2 loss at the Red Sox on Saturday was not good. The Nats scored just 2 runs. The Nats totaled just 4 hits, which were 2 solo homers and 2 singles. The Nats worked just 2 walks. The Nats went 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position. Yes, just 1 at-bat with a runner in scoring position the entire game, and the Nats struck out 12 times. The Red Sox's starting pitcher was Cooper Criswell. He allowed 2 runs in 5 innings with 9 strikeouts versus 1 walk. The Nats did have the 2 homers. They came from Eddie Rosario and Joey Meneses. The Eddie Rosario renaissance continues. Rosario on Saturday as the Nats starting left fielder and number 7 batter, 1 for 2 with a solo homer and a walk. Rosario in an Nats 1-run fifth had a leadoff full count opposite field home run over the Green Monster in the left field corner for a 2-1 Nats lead, despite having been down in the count at 1.02. Terrific piece of hitting by Eddie Rosario. Now, the homer had a projected distance of just 333 feet per Statcast, and we did have a crew chief review, but the home run was upheld. The homer went out in this blind spot at Fenway Park. It was hard to see, even in watching the game on television, where and how exactly the baseball exited the playing field, but the baseball did exit the playing field, and Rosario had himself a homer, and he in the top of the 7th drew a 2-out walk. Eddie Rosario, who of course had been so bad this season, now is surging. He, over his last 6 games, 9 for 20 with 3 home runs, a double, and 4 walks. And Joey Meneses, he finally has homered. Meneses on Saturday as the Nats starting first baseman and number 4 batter, 1 for 4 with a solo homer and 2 strikeouts. Meneses in a Nats 1-run second had a leadoff homer to left center field over the Green Monster for a 1-0 Nats lead, and for his first home run of this regular season. Heck, this was just his 5th extra base hit of this regular season. Davey Martinez is doing a lot of good things this season. One thing that I have not liked is him continuing to bat Joey Meneses, third, fourth, fifth. I mean, Meneses is not having a good season, but on this day, as the cleanup batter, he did come through with a home run. We on this podcast christened Joey Meneses as Joey Fourbags for the power that he displayed over the final 2 months of the 2022 regular season. He since then has not hit for much power, okay? He last season at least did come through with runners in scoring position. He this season has been quite bad, so good to see him hit that home run on Saturday. But beyond the homers, the Nats' only other hits in the game were 2 singles by C.J. Abrams. He is the Nats' starting shortstop, and number 2 batter went 2 for 4 with 2 singles. He did commit that aforementioned throwing error, but Abrams in the top of the third, a 2-out first pitch single into right field, and Abrams in the top of the 6th, a leadoff opposite field single to left field on a 1-2 pitch. We did have an unfortunate moment with Victor Robles. He is the Nats starting right fielder and number 9 batter, 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch and 2 strikeouts. Robles in the top of the 8th drew a leadoff hit by pitch, but he then was picked off, due at least in part to stumbling and trying to slide back to first base. He then got up, ran towards second base, but was tagged out. So I don't know that we label that another Victor Robles base running screw up. I mean, the end result was a screw up. He did slip though, so I don't know. I feel like we should extend him at least some sympathy on that one. But in a game in which the Nats offense did not do much, that moment with Robles did stand out. Game 3 for the Nats at the Red Sox Sunday afternoon at 1:35. Mackenzie Gore will be the Nats starting pitcher.
Hey Nats Chat, Tim Shovers here. A quick special shout out, a Mother's Day edition of a shout out, and it's from Brent to Linda. He writes, "It's a simple game. Whether we throw chatter at the opposing team at the park, hit the row with our boys across the country, or catch the last Metro after the Nats earn their first winning record in almost 3 seasons. Absolutely love sharing our lives for these 35 years. Here's to 35 or so more into being there as the Nationals bring home the Commissioner's Trophy more than a few times in that span. Happy Mother's Day, Linda." If you're not familiar with some of that verbiage used there that Brent wrote in, check out Bull Durham. Now back to the show.
What has been a tough out to get this week for Scranton Wilkes-Barre, albeit Edgar Barclay got him on 1 pitch in the first inning. First pitch swinging here, drilled out towards deep right field, and this is gone. A home run for the 3rd consecutive game for James Wood. Onto the berm in right field. It's his 6th of the season, his 4th in this series. And it's a 3-run blast here in the 3rd inning to give Rochester a 5-0 lead.
All right, James Wood. My goodness, what a tear that James Wood is on. The Nats' AAA affiliate, the Rochester Red Wings. They on Saturday split a doubleheader at the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders. Jackson Rutledge, who I mentioned earlier in the show, did not do well in the Game 2 loss. He's not doing well this season. But James Wood is doing well. He's doing quite well. Wood in the Red Wings' 15-3 win at the Rail Riders in Game 1 of the doubleheader as the Red Wings starting left fielder and number 3 batter, 2 for 4 with 2 3-run homers and a walk. And Wood in the Red Wings' 5-3 loss in Game 2 as the Red Wings starting left fielder and number 2 batter, 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. James Wood this season for Rochester has an OPS of 1,047. He has 7 home runs. 5 of the homers have come over his last 4 games. He got off to a scorchingly hot start to this season, then cooled off, but since then has gotten scorchingly hot once again, and he now is homering. He was doing well without really homering. He now is homering. James Wood in the Baseball America list of the top 100 prospects in baseball that came out on May 2nd was ranked as the number 5 prospect in baseball, ahead of another top outfield prospect for the Nats, Dylan Cruz. Wood has surpassed Cruz in terms of the Baseball America prospect rankings. Wood is torturing pitching at the AAA level right now. The Nats have stayed very disciplined in not yet promoting Wood to the majors. I respect that. I do. But that doesn't mean that we can't get excited about what he's doing. And there is such a thing in sports of kicking the door down, of making a front office have to throw the plans out the window because what you are doing is insisting, is commanding that you get more playing time or that you get promoted. And we perhaps are seeing that with James Wood, with what he's doing here recently. This guy is on some kind of run, and to think about what he could mean for the Nats at the major league level this season, heck, in the coming weeks, who knows, maybe even this coming week, is a really exciting thing to think about. You tell us what you think. You can hit us up on X at Nats_chat. You can email the show, natschatpodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on YouTube. Just search NatsChat. Our YouTube handle is at Nats Chat Podcast. We have a website that we invite you to check out, natschatpodcast.com, at which you can purchase a Nats Chat Podcast t-shirt. All Nationals radio highlights on Nats Chat are courtesy of 106.7 The Fan. Nats Chat is on the radio Sunday morning 9 to 10 on ESPN Richmond, which is 106.1 FM in the Richmond, Virginia area, and Sunday morning 9 to 10 on Priority Sports Radio 94.1 in the Virginia Beach area. I'm Al Galdi. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time on the Nats Chat Podcast.
This is a simple game. You throw the ball, you hit the ball, you catch the ball. You got it?